Now, in this video, we're going to be reading the poem Alone together from Oh Pray My Wings Are Gonna Fit Me Well by Maya Angelou. This was written in 1975. Lying, thinking last night how to find my soul a home. A water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody, but nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, oh alone, nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. So, what can we take away from these first two stanzas? So, lying, thinking last night. So, the speaker is obviously doing some soul searching, and that sets up the setting for us, right? We can infer that the speaker is probably laying awake in bed. Lines like where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone tells us that the speaker seems lonely and disconnected from the natural order of the world, because we know that water is not a thing that can be thirsty. So you guys tell me what type of figurative language you think that is. We see that the speaker has an epiphany in the lines, I came up with one thing and I don't believe I'm wrong. And we can assume or infer that this thinking that the speaker is doing is how they were able to come up with this idea that nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. And then stanza 2 goes on to say, alone, all alone, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. And from that, we can assume that this means that to survive in this world, like, people must band together and support and uplift each other as a community. There's some millionaires with money they can't use. Their wives run around like banshees. Their children sing the blues. They've got expensive doctors to cure their hearts of stone, but nobody, no nobody, can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone. Nobody, but nobody can make it out here alone. So we see that this stanza is referring to the rich, and that even if you are rich, it doesn't mean that you won't feel alone. Their wives run around like banshees. So I like supernatural shows, and so I know from that context that a banshee is an Irish folk tale about a woman that screams and predicts doom and death. I guess we could say that the wives are nagging and screaming their heads off like banshees, or that they're going crazy. The speaker also brings up how the rich have expensive doctors to fix themselves, but we also know that money can't fix everything. And we see in this fourth stanza once again that the speaker is alone, but also realizes that even the rich need community to survive and that this is a universal thing. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you what I know. Storm clouds are gathering, the wind is going to blow. The race of man is suffering, and I can hear the moan, 'cause nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. Alone, all alone, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. This fifth stanza starts out a little mysterious. The speaker addresses the audience and is whispering and imparting information. The speaker tells us that something bad is going to happen, that the wind is going to blow and the storm clouds are gathering. And the speaker also tells us that the human race is going to suffer. But maybe the human race is hurting because they aren't working together. Nobody but nobody can make it out here alone is kind of a double negative. The speaker is telling us that nobody can make it out here alone. And maybe that is why the human race is suffering. All right, so now you're on your own to complete the RL Wednesday review worksheet. Answer the questions, fill out the graphic organizer, and make sure that the document is complete before hitting submit.